I'm joined by the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, Sam Pittman. Coach, how you doing?
Buddy, I'm doing great. I hope you are too. You always have a smile on your face, so I know you're doing good.
Yes, sir. I'm fired up, and I'm especially fired up after watching y'all do what y'all did in front of a sellout house in Fayetteville against Texas, a new SEC member that you gave quite a warm welcome to. How did it feel in the locker room after you had that W 40-21, Coach?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, and I was so happy. Honestly, that's why you coach. You coach for those moments when you see your players and they're so happy. And to be honest with you, it was for the fans. It was for the players. They certainly earned it. But to see the fans so excited and to have the place packed and to get Arkansas, at least for one night back to where, in my opinion, University of Arkansas should be, it was really special.
Coach, one of the things that fires me up about you is just how into your players you are. And I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, as you very well know, and you recruit my kids, you recruit the area, you're from around here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been, I want to say you've been coaching for doggone near 40 years now.
Yeah.
Who do you think of as your mentor?
Well, since I've had so many different jobs, there's a bunch of them, and I took them from different people. The first one comes off my Bigsby, Oklahoma guy is Butch Davis. I worked for Butch and learned a lot about recruiting and how to treat people. And then Kirby Smart, you certainly learned organization, practice organization, the importance of each rep, and certainly how to recruit in the SEC. I mean, it's different. It's 4th and 1 all the time in recruiting. And then Joe Novak at Northern Illinois was one of the finest head coaches I ever worked for, about his office hours, how he treated people. I took a little bit from a whole bunch of people. I had 15 jobs. Of course, a bunch of them there, 4 of them were in high school, 3 were in high school, and the 4th one at a junior college. So I was the head coach at those schools. But I've taken from a little bit from everybody I've worked for. I've been really fortunate.
One of the things that I'm also marveling at, Coach, is just how well you put together your staff with your first big time SEC job, getting guys like Kendall Browse, Barry Odom, holding on to them during this past offseason, which I got to believe is job number 1 for you. How do you evaluate other coaches in the way that you evaluate other players?
Well, first of all, they have to be good people. I mean, they have to understand how to talk to kids. At our practice, we're not, we don't always do it the right way, but Butch Davis taught me if someone can't bring their 6-year-old daughter to practice, then we're probably not the right kind of people. And it's not always that way, certainly, but for the most part it is. And we want to be the loudest at practice when we do something good, and we want to teach when they do something bad. Well, you have to have coaches that are the same way. In other words, me yelling and cussing at you when you do something wrong, I taught you nothing. I taught you that maybe that's what you do when you get older at home or something like that. That's not what it's all about. You have to teach, and you have to, I tell our coaches all the time, don't be afraid of the players. In other words, talk to them and be truthful with them. And I think I hired a whole bunch of guys like that.
Coach, one of the things that I love about Arkansas football is that the Razorbacks are the pro team in the state, right? Everybody's pulling in the same direction. When did you know that you and Fayetteville were going to get along just fine?
I think in 13, first of all, when I got the job here as an offensive line coach in 13, I was here 13, 14, 15. It meant so much to my family, to my parents. I remember getting a job and calling them and say, hey, y'all know how to call them hogs, and that's how I told them I got the job. And they were so excited. And I was 75 miles away from here at Grove, Oklahoma, and got a little bit recruited by the Razorbacks. Not Lou Holt's a smart man. He knew better than to give me a scholarship. But, it meant so much to my family then, and certainly, if it means something to your family, it becomes stronger with you. I just loved it here. I had an opportunity to go to Alabama when I was here. I didn't do it because of my love for the university and the state of Arkansas. And so I probably knew it then. And when I got the head coaching job, I certainly woke up that morning not believing that I was even in the conversation to get the job. And then by 10 a.m. in the morning, by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they were somewhere in my house and we were visiting about it.
Now, Coach, I would be remiss if I didn't pick up on you, being a little self-deprecating there and say you're not an NAIA All-American. And I feel like you need to remind the kids of that every now and again. It's like, hey, I could play a little ball back in my day. Let's not get it twisted, especially up there with the Gorillas. But to that end, Coach, when I watch y'all play against Texas, who I thought the world of coming into that game.
Oh yeah,
they're
a good team.
Yeah, right. But y'all were so fast. When did you know that? Hey, we got speed everywhere.
We do. RJ, the first thing that I wanted to, there's two ways you can get your team. I'm talking about talent wise, and it's you can get big or you can get fast. And it's a lot easier to get fast. You get 3 or 4 fast guys versus 22 big guys. It takes longer. So we wanted to develop who we had and we wanted to recruit bigger. And so early on, we just went out for speed. We tried to find the fastest guys that liked us so we could amp up our team speed a little bit. And that's what we did.
Well, hey, look, again, I look at that backfield and you could run any one of those guys, but you got a big, strong quarterback in KJ Jefferson. I want to say he's about 6'3", 245, and it's all in his lower half. When did you know that was going to be your guy as opposed to, say, a guy that came in and played well for you like Malik Hornsby?
What's amazing is how little you really find out in fall camp. I mean, about the quarterback, because you never touch him, you can't hit him. And every time somebody puts a finger on him, he's down. You don't run him as much because you're not going to get credit for any yards. You can't make any yards running the quarterback in a scrimmage because, he's off limits, and is it fair for the defense? Those type things. We really found out a lot about KJ in the Rice game when he ran, when he was running around there, running option. He went 65 or whatever, got called back for a holding. But you could see that. And I told Browse, I said, hey, we got to let the horse run, let him run. I call him the horse, let's ride him all day, and once he started running, what happens is people stay out of the box. Cutback lane is there because they're so concerned about 255 pounds that can running at you. And I think he tried to make a statement in the Texas game whenever he broke open on a 3rd and 4 and he tried to run over the free safety. He didn't try to juke him. He didn't try to make him miss. He tried to run over him. And I think he was trying to make a statement like, this is all night now.
Man, and did he ever? Because he fell forward on that play. I remember it going, okay, all right, quarterback's in it. Everybody's in it now. Because if quarterback's out there hitting people, you ain't got an excuse. Everybody's got to go hit somebody now.
The game's all about the game's all about confidence. And you can get confidence by running the ball. You can get confidence by throwing it. You can get confidence by knocking somebody on their back, offensive or defense. We had to get KJ Jefferson in that game and some confidence early. And that run, he played out. And we threw a pick, but it was a great play by the safety from Texas. But he got confidence from that run, and we've got to get him that early in each game.
Now, I remember BJ Foster, you're going to give that one up. Like he makes play, he makes play. But one of the things that I really enjoyed about watching this game was the special teams and the way that your kicker answered the bell. Like I was looking around going, that's a luxury to have in this game now, right? Is to have a kicker that you trust that can go get you 3 points every time you're in a position to get 3 points. How do you feel about your special teams play so far this season, Coach?
Well, obviously we corrected some things that were wrong in the first game. And I love Scott Fountain. Scott came with us from Georgia. He was a special teams coordinator over there, and he decided to come over here to Arkansas, and we just hadn't had a lot of success. We missed a lot of field goals last year, a lot of extra points, and then we went over to Southmore and got little Cam, and Cam Little, I call him Little Cam. I mean, he's 5 for 5, and just every extra point. I have so much faith in the guy, and So, and we blocked a punt the other night, which someone, Rice blocked one against us. We didn't have any protection issues on the punt, and we covered. Jameson's a really, really talented returner now. I mean, really talented, and we didn't give him any chance to do that. So played well in special teams, and it starts with the punters and the kickers, and we did that well as well.
I'm looking at your schedule, Coach, and I got to say it's perhaps the toughest in the country, right?
Yeah.
They're taking apart Rice, and then you got Georgia Southern this week. But I'm also, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. You get past Georgia Southern, you get a big game against A&M and an opportunity to get the Razorbacks off to 4-0 for the first time since 2003, I believe. What do you think that would mean to the folks in Arkansas to know, hey, we don't just have a good team, we got a team that's chasing something?
I think it'd mean everything. The thing that we've done here, to be honest with you, because if you look on a piece of paper at our schedule, they don't look good. So, and it didn't last year either. So what we try to do, we tell our kids the schedules for the fans to make their reservations and make their travel plans and all that. And our deal is we play one game at a time on the weekend. And this weekend we have to play Georgia Southern. And and our coaches have bought in that too, because if you look at it over the long haul, and you have Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, Georgia, it doesn't, it doesn't look good, I guess is what I want to say. But each week, the game, it's a nationally televised game now, the national game on CBS. The only way that's going to be the game is if we beat Georgia Southern. And if we do that, that game will be as big as the Texas game was Saturday.
Last thing I have for you, Coach, and I promise to let you go. One of the things I combat a bunch, being from Tulsa and being from the state of Oklahoma, which I'm very proud of, is whether or not our boys can play some football. And obviously you came over here to go get a few and thought they could be Arkansas Razorbacks, and they agree with you. Could you tell me what you think about the quality of football in the state of Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, those sorts of places that I feel are somewhat overlooked when it comes to players, and then they'll pop up at the Razorbacks and go beat the brakes off of Texas?
I think so. Obviously we played football in the state of Oklahoma, so we thought it was good football, and there's fine football coaches, high school coaches in the state, just outstanding. And a lot of them's right there in that Tulsa area, but speed, good players. There's places in the country that are over recruited, and there's places in the country that are under recruited. One of them happens to be, in my opinion, the state of Arkansas, the state of Oklahoma. Texas obviously is a place where everybody goes. Missouri's kind of the same way with Arkansas. We are a bordering recruiting state. We are what I call a regional recruiting area. Now we'll go to Florida and we'll go to different places, but the majority of our football team is going to come from the states that border us, and ones that know more about the Arkansas Razorbacks. I don't ever really want to expand that a whole bunch, because I believe we want to stay local, and it means more, and the parents can see them play. But the football's football. I was out in Georgia. They just have more of them. There's more players out there because of population, Atlanta and all that. States come out with few players because the population's not that big, and Oklahoma's not a huge population, Missouri, et cetera, Arkansas.
Well, Coach, I sincerely appreciate you. It has been my pleasure to talk with you. I am excited for Arkansas football. I like college football better when the Razorbacks are beating the brakes off of people, especially if it's, Texas down there in Austin. And I wish you tremendous luck this weekend against Georgia Southern and the rest of the season, Coach. Thank you so much for this.
Listen, I want to tell you something. I don't know how many people believed in me whenever I got hired, but I know one that did, and that was you, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Go Hogs.
Go Hogs, Coach.
Thank you, bud.
Hey, kinfolk, I appreciate you for watching. Subscribe here and ring the bell so you don't miss the latest upload to the channel. Also, be sure to watch more videos here, like FS1 Studio shows and the best from Fox Sports and Fox Sports Digital.